Hi, I'm TJ. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. Would you mind clipping this on yourself? I'll hold her so that way we can hear what you're saying in the video. Him? Sorry.
No worries.
It's funny because you'll see later on my neighbor right there. They have a very similar looking puppy.
Oh.
And it's a girl named Zoe. So I have a feeling they'll be good friends.
Unfortunately, did a poodle putt, which didn't know what I was signing up for.
Hi. Seems a little unsure of strangers. Here, I'll give him back to you.
Okay.
Hi. So what we'll just do is try to walk through as many of the behavior issues that you're having.
Okay.
I know some of them we won't be able to replicate perfectly, but as many as we can, just so that way I can get a good feel for what we'll need to work on.
Okay.
And like I said, we'll probably need to adjust how the training goes over time, depending on how quickly they pick up things and how much more time they need to spend on other things.
Okay.
Usually with poodles, they're very intelligent, so they usually pick up things pretty well, but sometimes advanced concepts, or especially if they're younger, it's more about like impulse control and their energy and their excitement that they have to kind of work through and practice with than actually like knowing what to do or what not to do, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
Stay is a very good example of that, right?
Yeah.
Hi. So why don't we start with the walking behaviors?
Okay. Want me to put them at a set leash or?
However you usually walk them. I know with the longer flexi leashes, I'll usually use them to practice things like longer range recall.
Yeah.
And I'll have them on like a traditional leash, or you can always lock it too when like I'm downtown or in a more social environment.
Sure. So I usually, when I'm walking with them near where we live, I usually let them have free range.
Okay.
And then sort of pull him back when he sort of like crosses the midline of the road.
Okay.
But as long as he's staying in my view, on the same side of the road, he sort of has...
Careful, yeah. Okay.
All right.
So we'll see how he responds to leash pressure there. Okay.
Come on.
So it's usually good that they have that amount of freedom, especially when we have less time to walk them, right?
Yeah.
Get some of that energy and excitement out, let them explore and smell.
Right.
The only part that usually becomes a problem is like having to add in any kind of structure,
Sure.
right? Because right now he's doing pretty good, responding kind of to the leash pressure,
Yeah.
but without it, I feel like he would just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe just getting him to refocus and check in a little bit more often.
Marlo.
There you go. That was good.
Come here, buddy. Good boy.
Good. So the next time he gets really far away, we'll go ahead and walk back so that way we're not onto the busy street.
Okay.
But the next time he gets too far, go ahead and just try calling his name,
Marlo.
and without using any leash pressure, and then call him back to you.
Marlo. Marlo. I don't think that was a clear response, but you know.
No, I mean he recognized his name and he eventually came back. But yeah, the same kind of issue, right? Just and you'll notice that too. The dogs that usually will walk the best are the ones that have the most focus, right? Every now and then, we might have to give them an additional tug or some guidance with the leash pressure.
Sure.
Hello. Good. But you can kind of see sometimes here too, even with that pressure, he's just trying to continue going through that way, right? Okay, that's pretty normal.
Okay.
Looks like he's just, just more so focused, like with Duchess and the other pup they just had. They're just more so focused on following their nose and, exploring on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
What's the next thing you wanted to show off?
I mean, I think, any type of dog, very, very reactive to that.
Okay.
It's just, I need to play, I need to, so my girlfriend has is an 8-year-old, sort of mutt.
Uh-huh.
Very passive dog. He jumps on him, tries to bite his ears. For the most part, he sort of doesn't do anything, but there was an incident where he sort of annoyed him to the point where he kind of bit him.
Oh.
There was a little bleeding from the cheek and stuff, so it stressed her out.
It can be hard, especially when they're at that age and they just want to play and engage in those social behaviors. So trying to find a good outlet for that, and for the most part, usually what they end up doing when they're growing up is learning good social skills and social manners from their peers and from their parents. And then when we end up kind of taking that away from them and then not filling that gap, right, then you kind of start having those problems. Even when puppies and they're playing and they're good boy. Oh,
come here.
Come here. Yeah, good boy.
Good boy.
There you go. Good boy. Hey.
Good boy, buddy.
Even when they're playing and biting each other, it's to teach one another boundaries. Usually when one bites too hard, the other one will yelp, signaling the other one to stop,
Marlo.
right? And then same with the play.
Marlo.
Yeah. You'll have one that will be playing and then will give a correction or will try to move away to signal when they want to stop, and then it'd be up to them to pick up on those signals. Right? Does he go to daycare or anything like that? We got a toy spider.
No. So he has been going to a local dog park.
Okay. Well, that could be a good venue.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times a week.
Has pretty good friends there and everything.
Not regular friends, I guess, but he interacts with the dogs there.
Okay. So he's probably at least getting something socially.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is I'll bring out his roommate. She's only going to be here for a few more days. She'll be leaving on Wednesday, and then I believe we'll be getting his actual roommate on Saturday.
Okay.
And then I'll do a reevaluation with them together, but I feel like they'll probably be okay. Usually puppies like other puppies, so they can actually, play and get along and get some of that energy and excitement out when they're not, working. So it would be a good opportunity for him to develop some social skills even in some downtime, and we'll see how much of that we have to offset, because some of it too is, if they don't get the amount of stimulation that they need throughout the day or the week, then what ends up happening a lot of times is they'll see a potential playmate. Watch out here, a potential playmate, and and they'll kind of get that. Hi, how you doing? And they'll kind of get that reaction, right, when they kind of just want to play and engage. And we'll have to teach you too how to properly handle those situations so you don't get rope burn. A lot of times, what I'll do here, I'll show you, is when they're running out, is to just kind of swing the arm out to catch the lead, stop it, and then swing the arm back, and then release to eat it up as they're coming in close. So that way I can kind of suck up that leash with one hand and the locking feature, as opposed to using two. So what will end up happening a lot of times, especially when they're running out to somebody and you try to grab it, it's going out that way, you're trying to pull it this way, people get like rope burn, right? See if he needs to go potty. But yeah, that'll be an easy lesson, but depending on how how used to you are to grabbing the leash, could just take reconditioning on your end. Right? It's a pretty simple concept. You just have to not only practice it a few times, but practice it to the point that when you need it, that's the initial response, right? As opposed to grabbing it. That's all. So here, I'll grab them back in. So I lock the leash when it's up tight, pull them back in, eat up the leash by letting go of the lock button, and then I swing my arm back out, lock. So you kind of see every time that he comes back to me, I eat up more leash. There you go. But what we'll do is I'll take his boarding mate out, and
he's not neutered here, that, right?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay.
She just finished her cycle, and they'll be monitored anyways, and then separated when I'm not supervising, so it'll be fine. And then my ladies are both spayed for a long time and older, so so what I want you to do, and we'll probably have you move down to the further side, is to just go ahead and at first, and I'll signal you too, but at first just let me see how his reaction is, just without any intervention or anything, and then slowly kind of try to get his attention back the way that you normally would, just so I can see how difficult that is. And then if he has also any capability within himself to kind of eventually calm down, or if it's just going to be keep going until I can get to the other dog to play. All right, I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Come on. Marlo. Hey. Come here. Marlo.
That just...
Sit. Good boy.
girl.
Good boy.
Okay.
Marlo. Marlo. Hey. Hey.
Duchess. Come. Good girl. So what you would do in this case, right, is now when he is calm and sitting, is getting his attention and focus, so then you can release him to play and release him to engage.
Okay.
So your first goal is to get him to focus on you.
Marlo. Marlo. Hey. Marlo. 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 Hey. Marlo. Marlo. Hey. Sit. Sit. Hey. Hey. Hey.
Okay. And then when he does start paying attention to you, then you can release him to play.
Okay.
Good girl.
Good boy, Marlo. Good boy. Good boy. That's a good boy. That's a good boy.
Okay. Good girl.
Marlo. Marlo.
Okay. Go ahead and
Marlo.
let him play for a little bit, and then I'll go put her back.
Okay.
So you can kind of see a recurring theme with him is just the fact that we need to practice focusing
Yeah.
more, because that'll help with both the walking as well as the behaviors with other pups. You can just let him loose. We get to see how his social skills are with the smaller pups. There you go. She's holding her own, okay. Let's go ahead and bring them this way a little bit, so that way they don't go in the grass there. There you go. She's got the zoomies now. So one thing that I noticed is the fact that he'll sit. Let's see, that was good. So go ahead and let go of that. So she'll be back. So what I noticed was he does sit, right? But he doesn't focus, and so it can almost be a little bit of a I wouldn't say a miscommunication, but could be deceiving, right? Because a lot of times people will think that because they're sitting, that they're nice and calm and everything, and they've settled down. Because that's usually what we ask for them to do. But when he's sitting, because his focus is still on the other dog and what he's trying to get to, he's still really excited, right? So he's not calm at all, even when he's sat down. So it's more like a coiled up spring that's just ready to, lose your attention and control all over again, right? Than anything else. And you can kind of see the opposite with her, because even when she has some trouble settling down, at least when she settles down and she refocuses on me, she's actually a little bit calmer again. And that's hard for a lot of puppies. It takes a lot of practice, and with her, especially with people, she'll want to run up to them and jump and meet them and everything else. So it's been a lot of practice. So that's good there too, right? So she makes those sounds let him know, hey, being a little bit too much, and instead of continuing on, he buys a little bit of space and then goes back to playing when she re-engages.
Yeah.
And that's how you'll know too that it's a little bit more appropriate, right? If you're ever unsure of the situation, you want to take a look at what the other dog is doing. Are they scared? Do they seem overwhelmed?
Yeah.
Right? Or are they still having fun and they're reciprocating? So that's how you know it's good play. And if they seem overwhelmed, even though your dog is doing the same thing, then it might be a good idea to call them back, give them a little break or something like that, right? So when you're when you're dealing with the dynamics of social situations, especially at dog parks, you'll need to learn to not only take into account his behavior, but the other dog's behavior as well.
Right.
And it's one of those things. Most of the time, it's easy to tell, right? Sometimes it can be a little bit questionable, and that's where having some knowledge and experience comes into play.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta be careful with your other hand.
Yeah.
So you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's part of the training process too for him, right? It's not only teaching him what to do and what not to do, but especially at this point, even puppies, they've probably accidentally made their own bad habits, right? So you have to replace it with a good new habit as opposed to just telling them what not to do all the time. We want to actually teach them what to do and then give them enough practice that now that is actually second nature. And that can be difficult. Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put her back real quick and then we'll run a couple more tests. At least they had some good times together. Is that I think they'll be just fine. It'll be a good opportunity for them to have a good playmate. All right, we'll be right back. I know. Okay. I know. Don't worry, you'll see her again. So for the next exercise, we'll just do a sit-stay. And we'll see how that goes. It'll probably help if I hold him.
Sure.
We'll go ahead and ask him to sit and stay, and then slowly walk away back towards the court.
Marlo. 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 Marlo.
So this is definitely his default, right? For when he wants to do something and we're not allowing him.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. Hopefully it's not too hard. I had one pup before, whenever they would start pulling, their parents would teach them not to pull, but then instead they would sit. Yeah. And so the walk was really awkward between the dog going too fast, hitting the end of the leash, and then sitting. And then getting up, going too fast, hitting the end of the leash, and sitting. But yeah, you can kind of see that's his kind of like go-to behavior, which is fine. At least he understands sit and to give up. We just need to reprogram that into him. Pretty much whenever he sits, to just focus on us, right? Because that's going to be the big factor with everything here, it seems, because we can't even give him a command until he's focusing on us. So go ahead and try to get his attention again.
Marlo. Marlo. Marlo.
Good boy.
Good boy. Marlo. Good boy. Marlo. Hey. Marlo, sit. Hey.
Good.
Marlo, sit.
Okay, now ask him to stay.
Good boy. Stay. Good boy.
And then walk away.
Stay. Marlo. Marlo. Sit. Good boy. Down. Good boy. Down. Down. Down.
Right?
Nope.
So very, very much so interested in the environment and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think.
Place that I've practiced.
Sit and stay is sort of like indoors.
While
he's
indoors.
like
While
in the
he's
room.
like
Okay.
in the room.
When I've tried to practice.
When I've tried to practice sitting
down like outside.
outside.
He's distracted.
Yeah, that's understandable. Usually, like when I first start trying to teach pups a new concept or something, I'll start in the boarding room where there's little to no distractions, and then move here usually to the court where there's going to be kind of normal distractions, and then go to places like the park or like social settings, things like that, where there's even more distractions. And what that allows you to do is kind of climb up that ladder of obedience, right? So it's one thing for them to be able to do it at home inside. It's a whole another thing for them to be able to do it at like a dog park, right? And sometimes too, so much of the practice ends up taking place outside is good because it helps with naturally teaching them how to refocus and pay attention even with all these distractions in the environment. So it's part of it's part of like social desensitizing, right? While you're practicing commands.
Marlo, sit. Marlo, sit.
Good boy. So you can see when he does focus on you, it's really easy to get him to do things. That's pretty expected, right? So that's why I think we're gonna just work on a lot of refocus and maintaining focus, and then immediately like attaching the praise marker, the reward or something right after it. So he starts to kind of build that connection. That's why he's getting a reward. Kind of like with her, she's not getting the reward for, walking next to me at this point or sitting. She's getting the reward now for staying focused while she's walking next to me, or staying focused on me and staying, sat until released. She's just progressed at that point. So hopefully we'll be able to get him to the same spot too. You said at least it just seems like very normal puppy behaviors. It doesn't seem like anything anxiety based or anything like super disobedient on purpose or anything like that. I think he's just not getting most of the commands that we're trying to get through to him, and so it's hard to even get that kind of practice while we're out here. And this too, he just kind of pulls through the leash pressure to get to the next thing that he's interested in, instead of checking back because of it. Okay, no problem. And then there's that default. All right. Was there anything else that you can think of that you wanted to touch base with me or show me? I know I'll be evaluating him anyways the next day or two while I'm working with him in different environments, just to see if I uncover anything new, especially with his social behaviors.
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
No, I think that's it.
What I'll do is I'll go ahead and take that off you. We'll pause the recording, and then I'll let you say goodbye while I grab all of his stuff. Thank you.
Okay.
Pause. All right. Good boy. Good girl. Hi, Fiona. So it doesn't seem to be bothering her too much. Did a little bit of an evaluation inside already. So just taking them out and getting everything recorded for you. You can definitely see that he wants to play. Good girl. Is he being a lot, huh? Good thing about Fiona and her size is that also when she corrects pups, they have a good tendency to listen and be respectful. She's got quite a big patience threshold too before that, so hopefully they'll be able to kind of pick up on her signals. She's doing a much better job already of kind of respecting her space. Good boy, good pee-pee. You can tell because the leash is a lot shorter too. Naturally, he's hitting the end of it sooner and just kind of continuing on with his behavior of ignoring the leash pressure and pulling to whatever is interesting to him in front. For the first day, we'll just get him used to everybody and settled in. And we're definitely going to practice on name recognition and response. Also see if we can find if he does like working well for the treats that he already has, or seeing if he needs some higher value ones, or also seeing if he's interested in working for balls or toys as well. We'll probably do a social walk evaluation later on, although I kind of feel like I already know how that's going to go, but it'll be good to see just because he is a little bit on the shy side, right? So we may need to start work on that as soon as possible too, to try to catch him up on social behaviors. What's good, at least, is that you can tell through his interactions with people that he seems to get excited and wants to meet and interact with them, but then when kind of the moment comes, then his uncertainty kind of kicks in and his apprehension. Could also explain why he gets really excited around runners, wants to go and interact with them because it's a high moving target. We'll go ahead and pause this for a sec. His stool looked fine, so that's another good sign that he's not anxious being in a new environment and having to meet new pups and people. He is definitely very, very interested in wanting to play, but that was good there. We'll want to try to teach him to greet dogs from behind, so that way he can get a lot more information from smelling them from the rear, as well as it also usually being more socially acceptable for pups. Sometimes, especially when you have dogs that are uncertain of another dog or contentious, having that face-to-face contact can be a lot for them and could trigger a bad response. That's why I usually want pups, especially at first, to meet one another from the rear. But the kind of face-to-face interaction is pretty normal for puppies, 'cause that's how, especially when you're walking and you're going towards somebody new, it's going to be the first most natural opportunity to meet them. It's not just unfortunately considered the most polite sometimes. Good girl. Yeah. So you can kind of see the difference here a little bit with Fiona just kind of checking in. I'll give her a reward to you. Good girl. And walking with. Come on, let's go in. At least he'll have one friend right now with Miss Duchess, because they definitely are getting along and are very playful. And will at least have the opportunity to learn how to play gently with the smaller pup, which is really good. All right, go ahead and pause here. All right, so now we're checking out Mr. Hudson's reaction here with Lilo. Wait, make sure that that's the right one. Marlo. Hudson's the next pup. Marlo, okay. Okay. So there, right? So you can see he is trying to play with her, and she's trying to let him know that that's annoying, right? And we'll see here if he continues back in. So you can see where if he doesn't listen to her corrections, they'll continue to escalate, right? To kind of communicate with him the how she feels about a situation. He is definitely not disturbed by it too much initially on that impact, but then he just goes back into wanting to play, right? And Miss Lilo, she will every now and then play with another pup, but for the most part she likes her own personal space. We'll see if he'll be able to kind of break her down and have her warm up to him. Good girl. I know. I know. We'll leave the muzzle on for maybe one more correction, but she's pretty good about it too. There you go. Good girl. Right. She looks more annoyed than anything else. So go ahead. So we can definitely see where his troubles may come from if he picks on the wrong pup and then either doesn't listen to the corrections or in this case kind of like ignore them. And sometimes puppies will believe that it's just because they're still playing with them, right? And that's where good stern corrections, usually from mom and dad during development years, come into play, right? So she's doing a good job of being patient with him. But if he disrupts her too much when she's trying to go to the bathroom, then that may also be a good time for us to intervene, right? To redirect him. It's going to be difficult because we want them to be able to communicate with one another so that way he can learn those lessons from like social environments and his peers. But at the same time, there will be situations where we'll definitely need to intervene. And if he's not being respectful of the other pup and or the other pup needs a break, then that'll be a good opportunity to help the other dog as well by leading him away and correcting him our own way as well. You just want to be careful not to do it too much initially because if he's dependent on us always giving those corrections for him, then he's not learning anything and he's not developing himself on his own. And sometimes we'll become reliant on us having to step in every single social situation to take care of it for him. Doesn't always happen like that, but you do run the risk of it too. So sometimes it's just a careful balance between managing his social behaviors and keeping an eye on a situation. Good news is he does just seem to have the best of intentions and just wants to play. He just doesn't understand or he's not picking up on the social cues. There's a little bit of a growl there. Oh, there you go. So there's a bit of a correction there. And then he just goes right back into trying to get her to play with him. Good girl. What could also be bad for him is if he's misinterpreting those corrections in an attempt to play or something. But he looks like he's just trying to get her attention and he just wants to play with her. So he has really good intentions himself, but those can be exactly what gets him in trouble in the first place, depending on the other dog and the situation here. And so he does recognize the leash, which is good because you can tell when it is holding him back or it bothers him, he'll stop to try to turn around and bite at it, right? So here it looks like I'm going to go ahead and stop recording so I have an extra hand here to help out Miss Lilo and keep him away for a moment, give him a break, and then because it looks like she needs to use the bathroom, and then we'll start again.
Right.
So Marlo has been doing really well settling in with everybody. Just going to be out on our evaluation walk in first session. I found a training vest that kind of fits him. Yeah, kind of matches with his red leash too. We'll see if his parents have any personal preference on color for gear or anything. I think for this first session, I'm just going to be walking around, observing a little bit more of his behaviors, and then also starting to practice on some name recognition and a twitch response to refocus for just treats for a reward for now. We'll discuss later on during his stay how a good way to wean off of treats. Usually, especially with younger puppies, we start off by luring them, letting them see the treat, and either getting them to sit or follow us, and then immediately getting that reward that they were focused on. Then we transition that as they get better and grow up into attaching the value of the treat to maybe a hand signal or a command or so. And then eventually stringing along multiple commands before being rewarded at the end. I think especially with Marlo, we're just going to start off with the very basics. And I think once he kind of gets the idea and starts to condition himself for a proper response, we'll be able to wean off the treats pretty easily. But we'll see how he goes. For the initial exercise, we're just going to be practicing him responding to his name and either looking at me or coming back to me. Either of those things will be good. If he concentrates just on the treat, then that'll be fine for now, but it won't be really the goal. The goal will be for him to redirect his focus to us when he hears his name, as opposed to like the treat bag or the hand or something where that the treat is being carried in. And it's always important when starting off with a new pup to take things slow and build a good foundation. And especially with us needing his name for the rest of his training, and the fact that we'll need to develop good focus work anyways, this will be a really, really good foundation to start building on. Okay. What I'm looking for is for him to kind of be in between distractions, right? Not too hard into his nose, but maybe moving along right there, like to the next thing that he can find interest in, because that'll be the easiest time generally to disrupt and him to register the sound that is his name. And as he gets better at that, then we want him to still respond to his name even when he's distracted. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll preload a treat in my hand, and as he's just kind of looking around here, when he seems like he's done smelling one thing and starting to look toward the next one, I'm going to say his name, Marlo, and I'm going to hold. Good boy. Come. Oh, good job. Good boy. There you go. Good boy. Boy. So the reason why I didn't just repeat his name right away is because I'd like it to have some more value, right? Sometimes when we accidentally rapid fire things, they lose value. And we want it to have value and impact on the first try as much as possible, right? I'm gonna go ahead and untangle him here. There you go. All right. I want to try a combination of when he is still loose on the leash as well as when the leash is tight. Marlo. So you kind of see there, he ignored it. Checking back on me, good boy. Marlo. Yes, good boy. Okay. Okay, let's go. So what I'm gonna do is work backwards this time. Let him know that I have a treat. Marlo. Yes, good boy. And then as soon as he gets distracted, I'm gonna remind him that I have something that he wants and getting his attention using his name. It's another way to build a good positive association with his name, or any association with his name too, depending on how far along they are or how much work they still need to do. Because he drifts for a while after hearing his name and then eventually checks back, we can also add in leash pressure or a change of direction to help force a faster response too. And we'll go ahead and showcase that here. All right. Well, what I'm doing is waiting for the leash to be nice and loose and him to start kind of blowing by me, and then I'm going to change direction and say his name, Marlo. And at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and see if he'd like a reward. Because he gets distracted, then that's fine. He just doesn't get it all the way. Okay. So once again, Marlo. Yes, good boy. So now we're adding leash pressure to the value of his name too, in hopes that once he gets conditioned, every time he hears it, that he'll turn on his own because he's always been forced to turn. Right? So we'll wait here again. Marlo. Yes, good boy. You can see there, he started to respond a little bit better and definitely a little bit faster. His name, so that was really good. Marlo. Yes, good boy. When he turns and starts following me for a bit, that's when I'm gonna mark that yes. Eventually I want it to be when he refocuses and remains focused. Marlo. Marlo. Yes, good boy. Yes, there you go, good. So there he actually looked up at me. Here you go, big guy. So I'll give him a reward for that. So between the two exercises, definitely right now, him knowing that I have a treat and then me reminding him with his name seems to be working best. But it's good to practice different things. Sometimes too, if you're doing the exercise too often, then it also has less impact, right? So it'd be the same thing as giving him his freedom for just a little bit while longer, letting him kind of relax, and then the sound of his name making more of an impression again, just because we're not using it all the time. Marlo. Almost. So you kind of see, he came back, used a little bit of leash pressure, but then he got distracted right away with the scents on the ground. Okay. So once again, we'll try to work it backwards. I'm going to show him that I have something that he wants. I'm going to reel him in here. Good boy. Yeah. Oh, hi. So he's doing his auto response of sitting. I want him to focus back up onto me though. He's distracted by a person over there. So I'm using his nose. His eyes are distracted still. Marlo. And no response, right? That means he's too distracted to even hear his name, even though I'm right here, right? And that's why when people have problems with recall and getting their dog's attention, it's that it's not even developed yet to the point where you can be further away or have to work through any other distractions. So knowing that, trying to call his name here in this situation when somebody new is walking by and he's just focused on them will actually condition him to ignoring his name, because he'll hear it, but it has no value if it even registers at all. And so we end up kind of taking 2 steps back, which is why I didn't try to use his name to get his attention there. Okay. Go ahead and start walking again. Oh, so once he's kind of calmed down and broken from that fixation, we'll give the nose another try. Good boy, yes. So I'm gesturing up to my face now this time, and when he does look, he gets marked with that good boy and gets the reward. Marlo. Yes, good boy. Okay. It's very slight and it's very quick. Yes, good boy. But it's very important that he builds that connection and understands that if he pays attention to me, he gets rewarded. Marlo. Yes, good boy. There you go. So we are almost at the point of the beginning and just luring him to get his attention to do things. And that's also because we're outside here practicing too. So if he's not used to being outside and working through things, we've already kind of passed where his training discipline, at least at this initial point, is. Which is understandable. So it might be a good thing to warm up back in the boarding room when he's got no distractions and there's nothing going on. He can easily just focus on me and then conditioning his name from there. Marlo. Yes, good boy. Come here. Yes, come in. Good boy. Good boy. So that was really good there. He needed some cheerleading, but he did respond. You know, he not 100% focused, but I got him focused enough, right, that he was interested in coming back in. Get some eye boogers here. There you go. Do some grooming for you. Oh, I know. There you go. I'm sorry. There you go. Marlo. Yes. Good. Looked in and then looked away. And that's fine. Right now we're working on redirecting. Later on, as he gets better and more desensitized to the environment, we'll be able to work on maintaining focus. Something else that's interesting to note too is that when his dad did want him to stay, he just wanted to follow him, and he was able to have the most fixation and concentrated attention on him when he was trying to get him to stay. And sometimes that can happen, right? When we're not focused or trying too hard for one thing, we get the benefits of another, and that's just the fact that he wants to be near his dad. Sometimes the environment can be too much, but then when we take that away by making him stay in one place, he wants to move, and he'll either move towards his nose or towards his dad. So what I'm going to do, another directional change here with his name and the leash pressure. Practice that a couple more times. See if we can get a good consistent response. Nice and loose. Marlo. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Got it? Good boy. Good. Marlo. Good boy. Good. Now we're doing a combination of name work and leash work at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video there. That way I'll have an extra hand to work with. But it'll definitely be a good start. We'll see how much better he's doing after the first day or two of this. Hopefully shouldn't need too much more. But it'll definitely be an important building block to the rest of his training. Marlo. Oh, good boy. Oh, that was good. Yes. All right, we'll end on that good note. Good job. Let's go. All right. So, considering that I wanted to get some exercise and energy out for Miss Duchess here before her session, and that it might rain all day on Tuesday, I thought it'd be a good idea to go ahead and bring Mr. Marlo also to the dog park with us. We'll do an evaluation on the social skills here. So what we're gonna do is come in when it's a little bit quieter. That way they can kind of get used to pups, and I can see what the personality and dynamic will be like before it gets too busy out. Miss Sona here seems to be very straightforward and friendly. There you go. He seems a little overwhelmed, but not too bad. A little bit of holding his ground. There you go. And then some reciprocation, so that's really good. There you go. Getting some good confidence in. He gained confidence pretty quickly with Miss Sona after being overwhelmed, which is good. Hello. There you go. You're okay. Oh my goodness. The other dog is intimidated by Sona and it kind of overreacts, probably because either the size or whatnot. You can tell because when she gets close, this one here acts a little bit more insecure and reactive, but then when it's easy to separate like that or they disengage on their own, it's because they're insecure in their own space. You can tell because both of them were posturing, but neither of them really wanted to engage. Oh, hello. Oh my goodness. Hi. Hello. Oh, what? It's okay. Come here. Oh my goodness. You're okay. You're okay. Oh. He's still working on his name. Hello, come here. Hi. Hello. You're okay. You're okay. There you go. Hi, you. Duchess, come. Oh, good girl. Good listen. Good girl. There you go. There you go. I know. Oh my goodness. Who's coming? Who's coming? The fact that she's easily more uncomfortable or concerned with other things as opposed to Sona is also a good sign. It's one of those.
Because I would interpret what she just did now as a little bit of jealous.
Oh my goodness. Hi.
Am I wrong?
What do you think? It's hard to tell. She has a very soft demeanor now, which is good. We said sometimes it's just Sona, come here. It's okay. There you go. Oh no! Oh my goodness. I'm warming up. It might take some time. Oh, hello, Mr. Dexter. How are you doing? Good. Oh, there they go. Oh, there they come. Oh, close. Come on, Duchess. Hey, girl. No, stay. Stay. Hold on, we got someone else coming. There you go. Oh my goodness. Oh, good boy. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're okay. Oh, we got a ball. So, judging by the behavior of this pup, right, and Sona's intensity, might be a good call to get her right, get her away for a minute.
Come here. Sona, come.
Because they're already a little unsure and a little nervous, right? And she, even though she means well, it'd be one of those scenarios where like the other pup is already a little overwhelmed, right? There you go. It's okay, at least you're like disrupting her behavior from focusing on the other one for a bit. There you go. There you go. should be fine now. Just keep an eye on her. There you go. Because now the pup is settled in a little bit and checking everybody else out. Good girl. Go get the Dexter. Go get him. Hey, how you doing? Good. Oh, good girl. Marlo just wants to play with the dogs, and the dogs just want to play with the ball. Starting to get tired. Slow it down a little bit. There you go. Good boy. There you go. Good boy. You got it.